Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Sunday evening. I hope that you are nice and warm. Come on in and get cozy. Whew, it's been a long week, a long kind of weekend. Well, it kind of went a little quick for me actually, as I was trying to prepare for this cold snap, and apparently it's supposed to get a little colder tonight where I am in Texas, and unfortunately, we haven't had any snow, just the ice part, so that's not nearly as fun. But the kids aren't going to have school tomorrow, so yeah, they're really hoping for some snow, but unfortunately, they're only seeing it through other people's pictures. Let me know in the comments if you guys are lucky enough to get any snow, or if you get to skip work tomorrow, if you get to skip school tomorrow, or if it's just, another day as normal for you. There's been some interesting news this weekend. An explosive report from Wolves in Finance, which we are going to cover in depth tonight. I hope you guys are ready to really buckle up and go through a big chunk of that. He's done, okay. All right. So for those, oh, wow. Okay. So for anyone, I'm going to put this up on screen. Okay. Sometimes I have to address this question for those who are trying to figure out if you are only seeing me in one format. Sometimes YouTube feeds this format out to folks. I have two different streaming options because some people prefer to view on their cell phone in this manner. Sorry, you guys. This is just how, I don't know. This is how it works. So if you prefer instead to see the landscape view instead of the portrait mode, you can go to my page and then I have the other option available for you. I know, don't worry. Not watching if you're not full screen. Don't you worry. I have both options available. We have got all of the options for everyone. So if you, gosh, I don't know if I can go, I don't think I can drop a link here right now in the chat, but if you just go to my page right now and you click on lives, it's going to show you there's one option that is for this mobile version, and it usually has like a little cell phone icon in it. And then the other one does not have the cell phone icon. Here we go. Thank you. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Candace and Gary drop into to point away from solving a case that day. Maybe Candace's drop of the donor threat is to make you believe Charlie was changing his views. While y'all are doing that, I will pull that other link to give you the exact place that you can go to get straight to the version of my stream that you're looking for, if you prefer the landscape version. There we go. Trigger Dad is here. That train is never late. That's right. Thank you so much, Trigger, for being here. Okay. It's not the most attractive link that I just posted. I don't know if you're able to, it's probably not clickable either, but maybe you're able to somehow copy it. Okay, awesome. So glad. Bittersweet nothings. Glad you got it figured out. I know I also have people who join from X, Twitter, and so then they're not able to. I mean, they're able to chat. I see their chats, but they don't necessarily get to engage, the same way that everyone on YouTube is able to. So I'm just trying to serve everybody and welcome everybody in whatever way they choose. Y'all know. Okay, so I see a lot of ones in the chat. Yeah. So is the idea, are you guys thinking that Candace and Gary drop into to point away from solving the case that day? Maybe Candace's drop of the donor threat is to make you believe that Charlie was changing his views. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You're saying, instead of into, you mean info. If you think Candace and Gary dropped info to point away. Okay, info to point away. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm going to put your original comment back up. Drop info to point away from solving the case that day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, I know. Okay. I don't understand. Please explain. All right. So here's kind of the thing. A lot of us are really struggling with, and this is not to point fingers, but a lot of us are really struggling because we feel like we are going around in these circles to no avail. Some of these stories, some of these big tips and drops and big revelations lead to nothing. These stories are never finished. And it's like, hold on, wait. What was all that about? There was so much buildup, and then we never went anywhere with it. And so that's why I keep saying that, like, I'm doing my own investigation, I'm staying in my own lane, and I'm collaborating with other people when I can. But I would just suggest for you as a viewer and a participant, because I consider all of us, working together on this, to just, yeah, use your discernment and consume a lot of different folks and use your best judgment as you move along and decide like what aspects of it you want to dig into. Yeah. I hope that's helpful. Um Okay. Why is Trigger Dad? Well, maybe if Trigger Dad is still in here, maybe he can help answer that. I didn't even read the full question yet before I pulled it up. But why is Trigger Dad giving people computers and assisting random creators? You know what? I think he's got a big heart. I think he's got a big heart, but maybe Trigger Dad can help us address that. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes before then we get into it. Yeah. So I didn't really follow her very closely. I have not, admittedly, followed her Brigitte series. Maybe at some point I'll be able to go back and watch that. Whew, it seems like it's a lot to consume, but and this one I understand she is investigating, things in real time. However, I just remember that when we first started this case, she implied, if not stated directly, that she already knew who did it and why. And so I'm like, well, then why are we now 4 months out and it doesn't really feel like we're all that much farther ahead based on her reporting, my opinion. Kindly. I have a gut feeling that Charlie was seeing how deep the corruption was and wanted to correct it, but that wasn't these fraudsters' ideas, so he had to be removed. And McMillan 601, that could be the case. And you could be the case, but it also could be, how could Charlie be around all of these people for so many years and not spot some of it? That's the part that we have to kind of sit with and really think about. I'm not saying for sure that he did know the whole time, but like, that's the hard part that we really need to be thinking about. Um, but yeah, at that point, then like, how do you get out of it? Or do you get got or get gone? Um, I wish you're gonna have to give me some pronunciation guidance on how to say your name. Charakatar. By suggesting Charlie was under threat by a donor means that we are to believe he was no longer a Zionist and a follower of everything Trump. That is the storyline they want you to believe. And that Candace bases her claim that Charlie was moving away from Israel on Kozak, who told her, but she also says that he is a liar. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I I don't really buy a whole lot of that. And I mean, Candace wants you to also believe that, Charlie was becoming Catholic and that he didn't really like the, non-denominational kind of churches, and that he really admired the Catholic Church because of its beautiful architecture and the he didn't like the casual Sundays in environments of other things. And I don't know. I thought the TPUSA was supposed to be about getting out the vote, right? It, it just, all of these things seem to become this cluster. Yeah. Ivan says, Matt's an OG baller. That's for sure. So Candace relies on Andrew Colvet's info, but also calls him unreliable. How does that make sense? Good point. I think that's an important thing to think about when you're going through that whole, like, her list of facts, is how many of those things came from Andrew, and how many in the list of TPUSA lies came from Andrew, and how many things is she still relying on from Andrew. Andrew struck me as um, an unreliable source from the jump, because, sorry to say this, but as a former journalist, I know that you can't trust a PR person as your source in a time of crisis. Sorry, but you can't. They're going to spin it. They're going to spin you. Duh. Kelly from Bittersweet Nothings. I find it frustrating. Candace and Barron both do say, I'm looking into more than you never hear about it again. Yep. And Trigger. Yes, it's because he's a good guy. All righty. All righty. Let me scan down to the bottom real quick. Yes. Thank you so much, Reginator. Hit that like button, please. Everybody, y'all make sure that you are subscribed to me, please. Kelly, Raybon, and make sure you've got the notifications turned on so you don't miss a thing. I was a little late this evening. There was a private plane crash. Sadly, we don't have all the information on it yet, but happened in just late this evening in Maine. And it's from, seems that the registration is tied to an LLC that's based in Houston. So anyway, I was trying to get more details on that. Y'all know everything about the planes these days needs to be looked at. So anyway, sad deal there. Sad deal there. I don't want to, I mean, kind of have some info on it, but I was trying to dig into it like right as it was coming on. So I don't want to go too far down that. But I don't think it doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about this evening. Okay, let's see. A couple more messages real quick, and then we'll get into the videos. Being methane. Honestly, Charlie might have been in on it. Those text messages about time traveling, being a prism of light, are not something that a man of God believes. Look, y'all, I think that we should also keep in mind, and in case you have not seen my video about the idea of him staging the death or faking it potentially, all of this stuff ties into it. And I haven't even had a chance to go all the way down the rabbit hole on that yet because it is so deep. But we have to keep in mind that those things could have been little nuggets that he was laying out for us, Easter eggs, if you want to use the Taylor Swift term. And text messages and different things could have really just been things to little nuggets that we could look back on after the fact and say, oh yeah, it was really bad, or that Doge effort, that's, yeah, he was really concerned about that money. That must have been why he wanted to, get out, or someone wanted to get rid of him or whatever. So, though, that's how I think. That's how I think. Ah, come on now, Jessica. I did not start a podcast to complain about someone else. I was just answering questions from someone else or addressing comments. Come on now. Y'all know I do not, that's not how I roll. Okay. And hey, Jordan, it's great to see you. I think the new stuff from Wolves is unusually strong evidence for fake death. Classic motive to escape prison. Yeah, it is. It is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So, speaking of wolves, let's dive right in. Love it. Okay, I think that I have got it queued up. I am going to put him on, I think I'm going to put him on 1.3. I'm sure a lot of y'all have already seen some, but yeah, so this is Wolves in Finance. I'm going to play a good amount of it. I want to, big shout out to him. I've never really played someone else's podcast this much before, so I hope that that's okay. Um, you know, it's not normally what I do, but I got to give props where props are due. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna pull the chat down, I think, for this. So that way y'all can see. And
is so much worse than any antibiotic.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Let me check on the audio for you. Okay. Stand by. Stand by. Thank you for letting me know. Hold on. I know. I'm doing a bear, and here we go. Well, I would pull up your comment, Mr. Turpin, but then I'd probably mess something else up. So I'll try to stick to the basics over here. I just recently got this this other monitor, so now I'm really trying to be fancy. Okay, I know. I'm where this is why I need OBS, Jordan says. And yeah, you're right. You're right. I really do. One of these days. Okay. Man, it's not showing. Ah. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on just a second, you guys. I don't know if Trigger is still in here. The one difference is this time is that I just got this new Rodecaster Duo thing. And so now I'm wondering if, oh man, I'm wondering if now because I don't have the monitor hooked into the Rodecaster Duo, if that's my problem. Ivan, you can probably save the day too. Okay, I can put the mic closer to the PC speakers. Okay. All right. Good thinking. All right. How about that? Okay, so just in case you didn't hear it, to set things back up. Okay, to set things back up. Thank you guys. Oh, Houston, we have a problem. You're funny, Wayne. Mason, thank you. Sorry, and I don't want y'all to have to stare at this clown. Now y'all are so funny in the chat right now. Here we go. I'll put the chat back up. Okay. So just to set this back up, I do think that Wolves in Finance does a really nice job in setting this up. And he's like, you know what? I actually really respect this guy, but he's about to make a lot of fun of me. And then he goes on to basically say why he is absolutely wrong. Now, let's go. Oh my gosh, it's still no sound. Okay, let me try one more thing. And if not, then, ay. Do I have an auxiliary port from, okay, y'all, I'm so sorry. Wait, let me try one more thing. The auxiliary port. We don't say let's go anymore. Okay. How about can we how about this? Everybody? No, no, no. Yes, no. Was that working at all? No. Dang it. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, oh man, I'm so sorry, you guys. Let me just get out of this. Let me get my mouse back over to the right side. Because what we can, ay. I'll tell you what, technology has not been my friend. Oh my gosh. Okay. Technology has not been my friend, but that's okay. Thank you though for trying. Let me just look real quick to see what Trigger said. Turn the volume all the way up on the YouTube video and my Mac. Make sure that, yeah, I was using that. So I'll just have to try to do it later. It's like the Mac output to the Rodecaster Duo main. Yeah, that's what I had. But anyway, I won't worry about it right now. Oh, okay. Y'all are saying maybe take it down and then I'll take that down. Because I also wanted to go through the Life is Driving video and do the remainder of that too. So I don't want it to like ruin that part too. Well, Trigger didn't totally Trigger didn't set up this part of it. He was kind enough to help me with the Rodecaster Duo, but he's helped me piecemeal things together. So, yeah. I'm sorry, you guys. I feel like I let you down. Let me take it completely off of the screen. I think that must be at least one little factor. One little factor there. Because worst case scenario, I know that I have a video file that I can put up for the Life is Driving thing, but I can't. I don't have the Wolf and Finance one. But y'all feel free to let's make the chat go wild in the meantime. You know, nothing like a technology issue to really make us smile every time. There we go. Okay. Who wants to be the the lucky helper? I don't think they really want to help. It's okay. It's fine. Oh, Jordan's supposed to be watching a movie and Trigger said that I'm responsible for testing and verifying. So it's okay. It's okay. I can tap dance for a little while. Let me try one more time to put it on. It's running too fast. So you're thinking, Mr. Turpin, that if I just put it back onto like one speed, I could try that. But otherwise, I can just tell you guys a little bit about it. You'll need tech level 2 support for that. That's epic. Okay, let me put old Zach back on normal speed. And okay. And then screen share. Okay. Okay, Wayne Mason, you just relax over there. I'm trying to get this figured out. But all right, long story long, and thank you guys for sticking around. But that he did a really great look further into the finances. Bottom line, there are 4 different entities, okay? And between let's see, it's TPUSA, it's Action, it's America's Turning Point, and oh shoot. I'm forgetting the other one. Oh my gosh, it's gonna come to me. Anyway, so so it's like, first of all, why are there so many? That's kind of weird. Faith. Thank you. Thank you, TPOSA Faith. And so that's a little odd in and of itself. Only one of them has like a different type of classification. So instead of 501c3, 501c4. So that's like something worth noting. And he gets into the technical details of it. Then when you look at salaries, that's a whole other thing. When you look, most importantly, at this ballot farming, that is really critical because technically 501c3s should not have a specific political affiliation or agenda. And so when they could be like an overall get out the vote effort, but not a get out the vote effort for a particular candidate, for a particular party. That should be the PAC. That should be Turning Point Action, which it is Turning Point Action, but the money what that they were like claiming on paper didn't align properly. So they were only on paper saying that about 3% of their expenditures were for like um essentially political issues were for these kind of efforts. And it's like, hold on a second, what? They were only spending 3% of the money on what you would think their mission was. So that was a really, really big deal. um then when the other big thing was this, y'all, of course, remember we've been looking at the money for a while now, and in early December, and I was right before this all came on, or right. Oh, okay, sorry. Now I see something that had gone on. Ah, hold on one second. Sorry, I got a notice on my screen that said your browser has blocked your screen. I'm like, oh gosh, that's the last thing I need right now. Okay, we're gonna keep going with it. Okay, so in early December, I want to say it was around December 3rd, there was another issue that it had come out that uh, Zach Wolves in Finance alleges that maybe Donald Trump had actually kind of interfered in this thing, sending out a letter to Mrs. Kirk, acknowledging that the IRS was not, in fact, going to be auditing, or that TPUSA had not done anything wrong, committed any sort of financial crimes, anything like that. I don't know how Zach was really making that leap to me. And I wish that I could have shown you exactly what he was saying and let him make his own case for it. Um, and so I apologize that I'm paraphrasing and, kind of sadly for you, but I'm not, we can't say, of course, that that wasn't happening, but it was a bit of a leap, I think, in the way that he phrased it. If I'm just being completely honest, it could be plausible, but and he may know more than what he led on to, but I would not have personally have phrased it that way myself. So yeah, I'm curious as to what y'all thought about that myself. I thought that that announcement was very inappropriate. Not on his part, but on it was very, very, very odd. Um, Let me try to pull up at least maybe an article about that I can then show you guys, because um, it aligned with a time that Erica was either in DC, if I remember correctly, and maybe one of y'all who's in the chat can Google it faster than me, but she was either uh in she it- was it right after she had been on the CBS town hall, because it was right after Thanksgiving, if I'm thinking correctly. Right, oh, you know what, it might have been right around the time that she maybe it was right around when Charlie's book was announced. It was somewhere right around there, you guys, somewhere right around there. Somewhere right around there. Here we go. Let's see. Yes, if that's true, he has cojones. Weren't they going to pass a law last year so that churches could endorse people? And yes, and so that's why I was a little bit confused too. I thought that they actually had passed that law. Um, and so I had not had a chance yet to double check and verify that. But when I heard him um in his video today state that so emphatically, I was like, okay, well, he must have verified it, because I thought that they had changed that law to allow it. We can look it up right now as well. I hate for you guys to have to just look at me. Apparently, my ability to screen share is acting funky. Laws are only for us peasants. You might be right. It would not surprise me if it went up to Trump, since Trump seems hell bent on getting votes at all cost. So yeah, I mean, it would not. Oh, sorry, it would not surprise me either. But you just better be damn sure before you make that assessment. Trump has endorsed Erika since back in the pageant days. She is the new CEO. Yes, absolutely. I mean, he's been, and Erika has certainly endorsed him too. Now, I don't recall her being very involved back when Charlie was around. She really only made a handful of public appearances that I can find online alongside Charlie. When Erika was there for the ambassador being sworn in. Yeah, that might have been the day. Is that JB? Is that what it was? Let's see. Hold on. We're going to get to the bottom of this, you guys. What was that? That ambassador sworn in. Okay, she was there on November 10th. So I think that this letter might have come out December, but let me make sure. Okay, so this, let's see if it will let me. I'm going to try to pull up, share this screen. I don't know why it's giving me such a hard time, but it says December 9th. Whoops. Not that. Hold on. Share this window. Here we go. Okay, I'm coming back over here. And okay. There we go. So December 9th, 2025, Treasury Department sent a letter last week to conservative influencer Erika Kirk with findings that contradict fraud allegations about the finances at Turning Point USA and could help her refute those claims. The letter from the Treasury Department was written in, oh, okay, so I didn't recall this. The letter from the Treasury Department was written in response to a request for information from Erika Kirk last Wednesday. Hey, must be nice to get an information request, freedom of information request turned around so quickly. She definitely knows people. The letter said, none of the 4 tax-exempt entities Kirk now runs, Turning Point USA, Action, Endowment, or America's Turning Point, are being examined by or are under investigation by the IRS. And all of the entities, quote, submitted on time all of their 990 forms to the IRS this year. Contents of the letter were shared with CBS News. Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of. Turning Point held its annual fundraising gala at Mr. Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida over the weekend. A representative for Turning Point said the 2-day event was maxed out both nights. And then, that's right. Okay. Then Kirk is going to be interviewed this week in a 1-hour town hall event moderated by Barry Weiss. Yeah. So you guys can see how all of that really just played out in the most perfect timeline. This stuff does not just happen. Okay. Who's checking to see if the forms were honest? Nobody. Nobody. And yes, that completely. I agree. I do think that's the read between the lines. The point that I was making earlier is just, I was like, "Ooh, the way that he said it so definitively that was Trump's handwriting, like stating it as a fact, not like this could be Trump's handwriting." It was just, I was like, "Ooh, I probably would have just softened that language just a bit." But that's just me being, cautious. I think he did a hell of a job. He did a great job. I was just like, "Oh," um, that's all. That's all. Sorry, I'm scrolling back up to see. Okay, so this yeah, this was December 9th, and then when y'all said that they were all in Washington December 5th, and the letters dated December 4th, and clearly, I mean, a whole lot of, whether it's yeah, a whole lot of sitting around the table and, I don't know, scratching backs or bumping elbows or whatever going on. "Hey, I need you to really handle this. Got it?" Yeah, I'm with you. We need to start drawing our best conclusions. Yeah, and here we are now, all this time later, and the Epstein files are still not fully released. We've had people working, I don't know, around the clock. How much like overtime was spent on all of the, man, some of the redactions and stuff that happened. I downloaded, all of these zip files and all this stuff. And then immediately, like when they were released, and then you see just blackout pages. And it's like, what in the world is all of this? And then we're still waiting on more documents. So I'm not so sure. I don't know. Are we ever going to know? Probably not all of the things, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't still keep asking questions. We've got to keep asking questions. Um, so I was going to, let's see, I saw someone had suggested putting up the transcript, but I feel like it's only teasing you guys. What do y'all think? We try one more time? It's probably just not going to work. Now that I have it on, we'll just try it one more time, just for kicks. It's on normal. And of course, sorry, it's got an ad up, but all right, let me make sure I've got the audio on. It didn't give me actually, and maybe that's part of the problem. It didn't give me, the option, any different option on the audio. Yeah, it just says that it's running it through the Roadcaster. Oops.
Just you. The people that give their money.
Any luck? Yes, no, yes, no.
college campuses there. Fix this. One way.
Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, there probably is some. Sorry, you guys. I hope that didn't get you. I'm sorry, y'all. Is my audio okay now? I'm so paranoid about touching anything with the audio. Whew. Okay. I just, did my best there. Okay, there must be something that was canceling it out. I'm so sorry. What a disaster. But y'all are good sports, so thank you so much for trying to help me work through it. Anyway, so the other part that he was talking about there is the false promises of TPUSA, and in the immediate aftermath of 9/10, they had said, "Hey, send in your donation and, we will send you a hat in Charlie's honor." And after all this time, well, at the time, then they said, "Well, it's, due to the high demand, maybe 10 to 12 weeks." Okay, that was like mid-September, and now here we are in late January and still no hats. Or, at most the people got like a little rubber band bracelet, not a hat. Call it a bait and switch, call it a false promise. But, these people were definitely saying they're upset, and it is not what they were promised. Are you telling me there are no government oversight agencies that can demand an audit for TPUSA, which is a public nonprofit? So here's the thing, is that there absolutely should be. In Arizona, in each of the states, there should be the attorney general. So in each of the states, there should be the attorney general's office, attorney's general office, if you're talking about each of the plural. It's not attorney generals. Anyway, so you would want to check with, or I will be checking with all of these different states. So a lot of times people will file complaints with the Better Business Bureau, but the BBB doesn't have real oversight. All they can do is just kind of like act as a middleman to try to help and facilitate complaints. The AG's office can have some actual enforcement, and sometimes like the Secretary of State's office sometimes too will get involved. But and then the IRS as well will also is the one who can ultimately revoke the status of the nonprofit. But, y you know, if if they're already kind of under the thumb of the president, then in some states, you may have more luck, you know, trying to get some action from your local AG, from the state AG, like at you kind of have to work at a smaller level in some cases. Oh. Thank you, Coach Kelly. It's a great look. I appreciate it. Oh, goodness. Thank you very much. Okay, well, let's hold on. They don't want an audit because if they did, it could point back to voter fraud. Yeah. Yep. Ivan is Ivan. That's true. Oh, which speaking of, that's another thing that I was wanting to look at early on. I early on, I was intending to look at Baker Tilly. I think that, let's see, maybe I can just pull this. We can pull this up if y'all don't mind going on a little journey. I think that there was some issues with Baker Tilly in the past. Hmm. I'm not used to doing so this is the part of the, like, investigative work that I'm not used to doing, on the fly in front of people kind of thing, okay, guys? And also, I'm, like, behind yeah, I'm, like, trying to do this, and I can't, like, read in here anyway. Um, yeah. Okay, Baker Tilly, let's see. Fraud allegations, let's see, settlement, something like that. Okay. What's this first thing that comes up here? What is this first thing that comes up here? Oh, huh, hmm. Quality control violations. What do we have here? So this would have been last January. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little more digging in this department. Deficient quality control systems put investors at risk. Man, so so even Baker Tilly was having perhaps I mean, I'm just scanning this very quickly, but like maybe was having trouble policing itself. Hey, Elizabeth, if you are, you may be on the mobile version. So I would suggest you hop out. And if you don't mind going back to my page and in the live, you can then get back into the landscape version. So you might be, uh, yep, you're in the mobile version. Sorry. And thank you. Okay. So yeah, they had to pay, let's see, censures the firm, imposes $500,000 civil money penalty on the firm, requires the firm to engage an independent consultant who will review and make recommendations concerning the firm's quality control policies and procedures, requires the firm to conduct training for all issuer audit staff. Mm. Wow. The PCAOB is a nonprofit corporation established by Congress to oversee the audits of public companies in order to protect investors and further the public interest. Man, sounds like a pretty big deal. Yeah, so I will be digging into that one a little bit more, but uh, so it looks like, yeah, so during 2018 and 2019, they'd seen some of this during 2018 and 2019, and then they'd found that they'd had issues again in 2021 and 2022. That's a problem. Jordan, we're talking about Baker Tilly. So this was the firm that was that was quote unquote auditing or, handling the finances. I mean, TPUSA claimed that they already audited their finances every year anyway. They didn't need a Doge audit. They already did audit things every year. That's why they just needed an effort. Exactly. Um, Rick. Yep. That's what you might think so. That might be why TPUSA uses them. They just give that good old stamp of approval. Okay, if y'all are a little lost, I said I was just going to kind of do this on the fly. I said I think that Baker Tilly has had issues in the past. And I said normally I don't do this, just kind of looking things up on the fly, but literally I just typed in, Baker Tilly sanctions or something like that, and fraud allegations or sanctions, and this was the first thing that came up, which shows that this entity that was established by Congress to oversee the audits of public companies found issues with the way that Baker Tilly was conducting business over the course of multiple years, and that its internal systems were problematic, and it fined them $500,000 and required them to revamp their systems. Is that a decent summary? I know, Jordan. I know that it's not the Doge thing was not an audit. It was an effort. 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 Okay, let's see here. I was just wondering if there was anything else. Real quick. Let's see here. I'll just put this down. Whoops, sorry. Okay. Baker Tilly hit with investor suit over failed LA projects. Hmm. Yeah, I think there's going to be some more to dig into here. I mean, there's just so much to look at that it makes it really hard to figure out what all you want to dive into. All right. So much of this stuff is behind paywalls. Okay, hold on. Let me get back to the chat. Here we go. They are a sham audit company. Again, we're left with the truth we know, but can do nothing with. Yeah. Can we start a petition to have Turning Point audited? Yeah, I think tea trees, that's a great idea. I I think that a petition is nice. I just don't know what exactly I don't know these days what all a petition really does, but I feel like getting your legislators involved could help. I feel like getting your legislators involved could help. Let's see. Can I do trying to figure out my layout here. What else here? So y'all don't have to just look at that. Let me scroll back on the chat. Sorry. I'm still getting used to this multiple monitor thing. I mean, yeah, everyone could start calling Turning Point USA and say they want an audit of the finances, and by all means, go for it. But in the Wolves and Finance report, they said that a lot of people were calling, and then either no one was answering the phones or they were speaking to someone, and then, there was no phone call returned. It was just really hard. So I think really calling the AG's office, honestly, like, because then, yeah, I think you have to call the AG's office in your particular state and file a complaint. Like if you are, if you've donated, yeah, if you've made a donation and you feel that you've been quote unquote scammed, ripped off, deceived, something, then that would be my recommendation, in addition to contacting your elected leaders. Okay, this perhaps for some of them, yes, but not for every single one. Not for every single one. And you can also look that information up online. All of that is online, and there is a oh gosh, now I can't think of it, but there's a sort of flip side of APAC that um yeah, that you can look into as well. And then yes, class actions can be done too. Yeah, props to Zach from Wolves in Finance. He was very brave to continue to come out with a story like he did today. I really wish that I could show you guys more of it. I really, really apologize for not having my audio routing situation figured out just yet with this new equipment, but I'll get on it ASAP. But he did a fantastic job. And Danks too. I haven't seen all of his stories, but I do see that some of y'all have been dropping his name in the chat as well. I think he's been doing some of the financial deep dives too. So be sure to check out his work as well on YouTube. Yeah, I think, you know. Do y'all think that Are y'all okay with if we just, I mean, the life is driving video, well, I want you to be able to, what are we in? We just crossed an hour. I would really like, oh, but it is almost, okay, it's 10:40. I would really like to be able to walk through that video with you guys, but there are some interesting parts of that that do require the audio. And so for you not to be able to hear that is kind of a bummer. So let me work on that for tomorrow, and we can do that and cross that bridge tomorrow. um I think contacting, thank you, Irma. I think contacting my AG is a waste right now. Ken P is currently trying to take over Cornyn's spot. He's not going to care, I think. All right, so on this point, um I would agree with you to an extent. However, there is strength in numbers. Okay, you guys, this is what you have to remember. There's strength in numbers. And so when there are all of these complaints that are piling up, there are journalists out there, even if it's little old me, who will go in and request this data. And then if I can point to and say, look at all of these complaints that have been filed with AGs across the country, why has nothing been done? That's strong. Okay. So look at it like that. That's my takeaway. They're supposed to be fighting for you. They're supposed to be standing up for the consumer. And so as long as you have done your part in filing that official complaint, then that gives, journalists, whether it's in the traditional media or the non-traditional media, a place where they can step in and ask questions about why the people who are supposed to be defending you, why they're not defending you. But you have to do your part first. I'm so sorry that the stream is giving everybody such a tough time. Wow, that's bizarre. Yes, 100. Strength in numbers. Each citizen researcher and journalist brings their own unique skills to this case. Absolutely. And so together we just all keep pushing forward one day at a time. I know it sounds a little hokey, but some days I have bad days, some days I have good days, and I think it happens to each of us. And so we just all keep trucking along and supporting each other when we can. And this is something to all keep in mind too, is that you, the taxpayers, and your tax dollars are paying for that designation. So, and Zach made that point in his report, that they are able to forego paying taxes on all of that money. So and it's a luxury, for them, but all of us are essentially footing the bill in one way, shape, or form. Should we all contact the Arizona Attorney General? You can, but I would first try contacting your own state's Attorney General and then see if they encourage you to instead file with the Arizona Attorney General, or if then they send you to the, what is it? Were they originally in Illinois? Or at least one of the entities maybe is in Illinois. Um, yeah, but I would check with your state first, because you are located wherever you are located. Yeah. Tea trees, thank you. Not for me, streamies with my favorite authentic integrity girl, Kelly. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Hey, Truth, good to see you. Okay. I'm so sorry that it's been giving everyone so much trouble this evening. I guess maybe it's just time to, I don't know, maybe it's all of it's glitching out. Last night I didn't have Wi-Fi for a long time. It was weird. I'm sorry y'all are having to look at all this for so long. Oh gosh. Here. Sometimes I just forget that I'm like I get so locked into to reading. Let's see. Every uh oh, okay. Motive for fake death is the hardest for me to figure out. Not that I'm outright dismissing it, but it doesn't make sense to me at this point as to why Charlie would agree to doing that. Says abundantly empowered. Oh man, this is so hard for me to just like sum up in a few sentences, but I feel like there could be a few different things going on here. One, it could be that he had um, a very viable threat, be it domestic or abroad, and was given whether he was given the option to disappear or felt like he needed to disappear before it was too late. That he knew that death was imminent, and so he plotted to have his have his friends and teammates be able to help him make a quick escape, and he needed to do it publicly for it to be believable. To just say, oh, he got, he uh, had a heart attack in the middle of the night, or oh, he got into a car accident, a single car crash, on the way home from dinner one night, like that wasn't going to be believable enough. He needed to do something that was public to make it believable. But it also could have been that, he had gotten in over his head. If there was something that was more nefarious, I mean, there's so many different reasons why. Why Charlie's parents have been so quiet. I know. I know. It's very difficult to it's very difficult to wrap my head around why they would not speak out even one time. Even one time. And the fact that Erica never even talks about them. Never. Like she never even says, mentions like any great memories they all have together, or shares any anecdotes of them, or passes along words that they say about him, or something about, his childhood. Like if it were me, I just, I don't know. I just want, I believe that I would be wanting to include them. And if they didn't want any part of the spotlight, that I would want to make sure that I'm at least somehow including them, referencing them in a respectful way. Yeah. But the mom, being methane, the mom did appear to be in deep grief the one time that we saw her. Look, I'm with you. I believed that too. if that was even really his mom, I don't know. But also, that, like, she sure didn't seem to be close to Erika. In fact, there was one time where it seemed, maybe I was looking too much into it, but it seemed like she kind of looked over at her in not a I don't know, in a strained kind of way, because it just seemed like Erika was really playing things up. Something just seems very strange. Let me scroll a little bit more back up. And also this one, that there's no footage of our girl while pregnant. You guys, for someone who clearly loved the spotlight, who who was in front of the camera at every chance she could be in the past, and then clearly since Charlie has been out of the picture, has been in front of the camera every chance she could be. How is it that she that there wasn't a single baby shower photo or video taken? Not a one. Not a one. Come on now. And how is it that they took the kids out to these different things and even on stage and nobody caught a glimpse of the kids' faces ever? And has Candace ever met the kids? I don't think she's said. Yeah, I mean, that's what she said. I had C-section births, both of them, but I don't know what that has to do with anything. And also, well, anyway, I don't know. She said something about 48 hours of labor. Y'all, I have to believe that she had, I mean, with the kind of money that they have, one of the, best OBGYNs out there, like, or at least, a solid doctor. Who's going to let you go for 48 hours? Mine wouldn't let me go. Mine said at 24 hours, okay, Kelly, no mas. Time to go for that C-section. Not 48 hours. I mean, that's ridiculous. Maybe she didn't want to be seen as a mother. I don't know what you mean by that, Jordan. You mean that she didn't want to be seen pregnant? Because I'll tell you, I know a lot of pageant girls. I have multiple friends who are Miss Texas, Miss USA, even one that was Miss Universe. I mean, yeah. The girls like their pictures. The girls like their videos. Um, just saying. Comes with the territory. Yeah, this is a great point. Man, Bean Methane, you are on a roll. Charlie was so into people reproducing and having babies, and not a single photo of his proudly impregnated wife. LOL. By the way, did y'all see that? I saw an article about JD Vance. Okay, I'm sure y'all might have heard that Usha is pregnant now with her fourth child. And of course, conveniently, let's see, when the announcement was made, oh gosh, what was it? Yeah. So anyway, I had put the um the date up as to like what the what the breakdown was after the hug scene around the world, you know. I was like, oh goodness, he had some, making up to do. But she apparently said that she was not excited about being pregnant again. I said, oh, poor thing. Poor thing. I don't know how old she is, but I mean, I can't imagine. 4 kids. Oof. Kelly, there's something you may want to look into regarding Candace. Someone on X did some base level digging. Could be an interesting story. Okay. Well, all right. You let me know, Matt. Feel free to shoot me a DM. Thank you. Do I believe that Charlie would allow Tyler to hang for this? Yeah, I do. I think that he probably knows that everything will be fine, especially under Trump. I mean, look, Trump's got 3 more years, right? In theory. So, he would, in theory, have time to work things out, perhaps. Be real, for real for life. Thank you for taking the action you do, putting yourself out here and giving this a solid shot. It's going to pay off in the end. We have much to do. Community is the only way. Stay focused. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It is worth it. It is definitely worth it. And I thank y'all so much for being here too. Kristen, there's something to be said. Something to be said for that. Okay. Amber, I promise you, I will check out Rebecca Roth Speaks. I don't know if you were the one who had sent me Rebecca Roth Speaks, but it is on my list of things to check out. I'm going to wind down here pretty soon, y'all. I think I missed maybe a couple of things real quick. Y'all, if you haven't already, please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and that you have those notifications turned on. In case you can't see it here, I'm on X and on YouTube at Kelly Raybon, KELIRABON on X and on YouTube. If you like Instagram, I'm over on IG at Kelly R, KELIR. If you have a tip for me, please feel free to send me an email, kelly@kellyraybon.com. Remember, just one L. Let's see if there's anything else. And again, I'm really going to work hard on trying to figure out how to get I'm sure it's something simple and getting OBS if I need to at Jordan and Ivan's recommendation. So that way tomorrow I can have audio for you guys. Yay. Oops, there we go. Oh, yes. You mentioned earlier ice. Oh, yes. It is quite disturbing, the things that we've been seeing recently. Lots of people, killed in public. Mm-mm-mm. Thank you, Omega Glory. Glad to have you around, and I look forward to seeing many of y'all in future streams. I should be back tomorrow with something good. And yeah, thank y'all so much for your patience as I work through. I hope you like my new little setup here with the camera, and hopefully my voice is sounding better with the audio situation now. And then I've got this monitor. So now if we can just get like 1 or 2 little things tweaked, then we'll really be cooking with grease, grease or gas or whatever it is. I don't know. Okay. I love it. Okay, Irma, you keep me posted and I'll see what I can do on my end too. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Y'all feel free to let me know if you have any additional ideas, suggestions, tips, all the things. You know, I am always here for it. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you again for being here and have a great night. Bye.